Hello, this is Francis X. Williams, and I am a relationship coach talking about creating exceptional partnership. So, just to allow a little bit of space for what we're calling partnership, partnership is when you allow yourself to join and agree with someone else or a group of other people to create common goals so that you can work together either as a pair or as a team or as a company, etc., so that you can achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Sometimes partnership is an unknown parameter, an unknown quantity in your world. And being unknown can create a lot of scenarios for people. Sometimes you might hear the phrase, well, if you sailed offshore in a rowboat, well, you can't sail in a rowboat, right? If you rowed offshore in a rowboat, and you got so far away that you couldn't see the shore anymore, would you turn back if you knew you were on your way to a specific goal, or would you keep going to that goal somewhere out in the ocean so that you can get there on your own, knowing that you have your navigation put together, knowing that you have everything going the way you want, like partnership? So who would you show up as? Who would you be? So one of the things that you're looking to agree on is, instead of going from me, I win over here, it's all about me, and nothing else matters, you're going from there, just being inside yourself with yourself and relying only on yourself, to working with other people. And that can potentially mean going to a win-win scenario where I win, you win, everybody in our team wins, and that's how this works. So there's different levels of energy. There's anabolic levels, there's catabolic levels. We're not going to really talk too much about energy other than the fact that when you're feeling negatively or down and things aren't really going your way, you're probably feeling destructive energy, where you have thoughts like, I can't, I won't, I'm not able to, I don't have what I need to produce results. You're choosing new language. You're going from I can't to I can. You're going from I won't to I will, or I don't have to I have, or I don't know what to do to I choose. So empowered with that language, you're allowing yourself the opportunity to be available to create partnership with others. So one of the things that gets in the way of creating partnership and our goals is to be able to clearly establish when blocks get in our way. And there's 4 types of blocks. The first type of block is called a gremlin, or an inner voice that's in your head. That's your inner critic. And there's 2 things about your inner critic that I work on with clients. I let you know that your voice is always going to be there. You can't turn it off. You might be able to turn it down, but you can't turn it off. So it's already there when you're born. It's always going to be there, throughout your whole life. And it's only going to be your critic unless you reprogram it. That's the second thing. So reprogramming that inner voice to be your inner champion is something that I work with for clients and their relationships, as well as I let you know that once you do the exercise with your inner voice to make it your inner champion, you're allowing yourself to always be empowered through self, and you're raising your energy. So you're going from that I can't to I can, etc. The second block is called an assumption. So this is when you believe just because something happened before, it's going to happen again. That doesn't mean it will. That just means you believe it will. And you want to question your assumptions, and you want to say, well, how true is that? How true is just because the last time I went into the supermarket and the cashier gave me a dirty look because my card was declined, that that'll happen again if I go to the supermarket? Well, it might with that same card, but you might just go in there and say, you know what, I filled up my card. If somebody gives me this kind of look or that kind of look, I'm just going to smile and say, have a nice day, as opposed to, wow, I can't believe that person looked at me like that, what's their problem? So instead of being negative, you can actually look at the positives that you want, and you can challenge your assumptions to see how true they are. The next block is called an interpretation. So an interpretation happens between 2 people in the midst of a conversation. It's happening right now as you're interpreting what's going on. So if I scratch my nose and I'm having a conversation with you, you might think, oh, is there something on my nose? That's an interpretation. You're interpreting my body language of touching my nose to mean that there's something on your nose, when it may or may not be true. So rather than allowing yourself to fall into the path of potential insecurity, you might want to look at, okay, I'm confident in who I am. I'm doing great. Things are working. Just because other people are making gestures or movements doesn't mean I have to be alarmed or concerned or bothered by any of it. I'm going to continue along what I'm doing to continue my success. And that's interpretation, something that happens in the space between two people in conversation when you misinterpret something that may not even really be there. And then the last block is called a limiting belief. So a limiting belief is, first of all, a belief is a thought that you think so often you believe it. For example, I think the sky is blue all the time. Even when the clouds are out, the sky above it is blue, because that's what I think, because I've thought it so many times I believe it. Is it blue on a cloudy day? I don't know, I can't see it. I just believe it is, because that's my process. Now, if I have a limiting belief, that could be something like all politicians are criminals, or all men are liars, or all brown-haired people, my hair is actually brown, all brown-haired people are trustworthy. You know, that might be a limiting belief that limits you to think a certain way. So it's like a world of thought that is keeping you stuck in a box. So you might say, well, all brown-haired people are just people, and who knows who they are until I meet them. You know, you're keeping an open mind that way instead of limiting yourself. Or who knows what all politicians are doing. I'm not with them every day. I don't know if they're good, bad, or ugly. I have no idea. I don't know them. I just know that they're hired to do a job, etc. So one of the things you can do when you're having an inner voice challenge, when you're having an assumption challenge, an interpretation challenge, or a limiting belief challenge, is you can say, stop, wait a minute, I don't trust that what's going on right now is serving me or serving whoever I'm trying to create partnership with. So you can create a new growth producing thought. Now, we did this throughout the process of the inner critic, making your inner champion, etc. That's the new thought, like, wow, I can make my inner voice my biggest fan. So basically, you want to understand what feeling you have, the new feeling, once you've created that new thought. So the new thought could be, okay, now my inner voice is my biggest champion. And that makes me feel really confident, because now I can go into any situation when I hear the inner voice turn on, I can say, hey, remember, you're supposed to be my biggest champion, so get to it. And what new action will you take? Will you meet people and find out where they are and how you can work with them? Will you agree to take on certain things within the team because you know it'll be productive for win-win relationships? So sometimes in management and on teams, we have to do something called telling, selling, and participating. We tell others what we want them to know. We sell them on that idea because we believe in it and we want them to believe it. And then when everybody's on the same page of knowing what needs to be done and believing that it needs to be done and why, we can all participate together and create a lot of win-win scenarios and a lot of productivity for each other. So that's creating exceptional partnership. And below, please leave your comments. I'd appreciate hearing what you got out of this video. I'd appreciate knowing if there's something missing from this video that you want to hear more about. Please let me know, because I can make videos about that for you. We can talk one-to-one and determine, what's a great scenario for you to create partnerships with others and to be successful in your relationships that way. As well, I'm going to be attaching 2 resources. They're going to be links. One of them is going to be a link on your limiting beliefs, and the other one is going to be a link on, how do you create new thoughts? How do you create, what emotion does that create for you once you've created that new thought? And how do you create a new action after that so that you can empower yourself to move forward in your partnership relating with others around you? Because who doesn't like to get along with other people when you're working together? Because that makes the whole situation go great. You can have camaraderie. You can get the results that you want when you work in a team. There's not as much individual effort because the sum of the parts is greater than the sum of the individual. And the sum of the parts is all the partners that are involved. So that's creating exceptional partnership. Once again, I'm Francis X. Williams. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you take away a lot of great things from this video to serve you in your relationship goals and in your partnership goals.